Madam, it was only half a year ago that the Prime Minister conducted a marathon of diplomatic visits to our closest partners in the region. In 3 months, he traveled to Laos to meet with ASEAN leaders and the United States, China, Japan, India, and Australia to affirm long-standing ties. Things were looking up for our relation with these key countries. Our principal foreign policy position has emphasized the international rule of law, commitment to an open economy and freedom of navigation, mutual respect for each other's independence, and armed neutrality. This seems to have earned us a good deal of legroom as a small, foreign, sovereign city-state among large powers. Some even commented that we are punching above our weight in the international arena to influence outcomes for the common good. Much of our foreign policy achievements are clearly due to our hardworking diplomatic corps, members of whom have been building on the foundation established by our premier statesman, the late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. But it is also becoming apparent that the global order is changing, and is changing rapidly. Even as the Prime Minister continued his diplomatic marathon, when he was visiting Japan in September, a Chinese state-owned newspaper struck public anger by accusing Singapore for taking sides against China. Madam, I'm glad that the issue with the seizure of the Terex vehicle by Hong Kong Customs were handled with great care by China and Singapore and have come to pass. Nevertheless, the public expressions and discussions resulting from the event do point to some critical challenges to Singapore in this changing global order. The critical challenges pertain to a rising China with an economic and military clout to impose its will on Asia. China may not do so in the near future, but with the means and its strong position on the South China Sea claims, the potential is there. Whether we like it or not, China is an important strategic partner. However, even as Singapore invests in new opportunity of bilateral cooperation, especially under China's Belt and Road Initiative, we need to be mindful of not becoming too dependent on the Chinese economy. We have encouraged our businessmen, entrepreneurs, and professionals to connect with their Chinese counterpart using deep historical and cultural links. We saw the complications with Singapore when Singaporeans doing business and working in China came under public pressure during the events last year. Some Singaporeans were even of the opinion that we should appease China. Singapore not only risks becoming economically vulnerable to any strategic foreign policy shift by China, the multiracial and multicultural character of society will also come under pressure. To compound this challenge, the new United States administration pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership a month ago. The U.S. looks set to turn inwards to deal with domestic political conflicts. If the U.S. disengages from Southeast Asia, this will leave a gap, if not a vacuum. If ASEAN continue to be divided on the collective response to the South China Sea issue, then the gap left by the U.S. will mean ASEAN will have to face a strong China by ourselves and divided. This is a grim prospect. Madam, one of the tenets of our foreign policy is hard-nosed pragmatism to survive as a small city-state. I would like to ask the Foreign Minister whether our foreign policy principles need to be updated in view of the changing world order, and if not, how the existing principles will guide us in the volatile and uncertain waters.